Hi, and welcome to episode 135 of Explore Your Enthusiasm with me, Tara Swiger. Today, we're going to talk about how do you come back to work to your creative business after you've taken a break. This is Explore Your Enthusiasm with me, Tara Swiger, where we explore the intersection of making art and making money. Many of you, like me, are taking breaks over the holidays to be with family, to travel. Many of you listeners know I recently went to England for around 2 weeks to teach two different events. And coming up, I have events that I'm teaching at. I'm also visiting my family this week. While you listen to this, I am probably flying across country to see my family in California. And the great thing about taking breaks is that it can re-energize you to get back to work. The downside of taking breaks is it can be really hard to get back into your motivation, your inspiration. It can be just hard to get back into the habit of working when you have messed with your schedule. Now, some breaks are for positive reasons, like seeing your family or the holidays or having fun or traveling for teaching, all things I love. Some breaks are for not fun reasons, like a loss in your family or your illness, yourself or others, or your kids just being home because of snow days for many days in a row. No matter what the reason is for your break, it's okay to take a break from your business. That is totally allowed. We talk more about how to take a break, whether it's planned or unplanned, in my class, How to Take a Break. You can find that at taraswiger.com/leave. But I also wanted to let you know that the day that this podcast comes out, the Starship is now open and boarding. And you will get the Leave class along with Holiday Sanity, which is a 4-week guide to making a sane holiday. Along with everything I'm going to mention in today's episode, you get that all aboard the Starship. The Starship gives you access to all of my courses and a 24/7 forum where you can ask your questions and get feedback from other makers and artists. You also get access to our weekly text chat where we hold each other accountable and we give you immediate feedback on whatever you would like feedback on. And you get access to the Accountability Partner Program. If you want an accountability partner and you're having a hard time finding someone who wants to meet and check in the same time that you do or has the same ideas of what it is, you sign up for the program and I match you with a partner who you then decide how often you're going to meet, when you're going to meet, how you're going to meet. It can be on text, email, phone, in person, however you like. So you get access to all of that inside the Starship. It's open right now. You can learn more about it, or if it's closed when you're listening to this, you can sign up to be notified when it opens again. taraswiger.com/starshipbiz. It's taraswiger.com/starshipbiz, all one word. You guys might be able to hear my dog snoring. He just decided to snore really loud. So, the Starship is open. It closes on December 16th, and it is changing up in 2017. So if you join now, you have an entire year's membership until the end of December, and I'm not certain how often it will open again in 2017. So this may be your last chance to come aboard for quite a while. Now, I just took that break in my business. I also had a break this summer, as I have talked about a little bit before. I was getting used to some medication. One of our Starship captains recently had some loss in her family, and so she, of course, took time off to be with her family and grieve and to go through that. And she just asked me in our monthly Starship Q&A, which, by the way, you also get in the Starship access to a live Q&A with me each month. She asked, how do you get back on the horse? And it is crazy because I had just been working on this very same thing this morning. I decided I was going to podcast about this because I was sitting down and I was asking myself, how do I get back into the work? Like after taking time off to teach and travel, and then the Thanksgiving holidays here in the States, I was just kind of struggling to feel my normal wake up and get to work motivation. And this is what I did. I went back and I looked at the big picture. Really, I asked myself, what do I really want for my business? Now, there are so many ways you can ask yourself this question. That's the one I asked myself this morning. And if you are coming back from a break, maybe you're just took some time off for Thanksgiving, maybe you're about to take some time off and you wonder how you're going to get back into it in the new year, ask yourself, what do you really want? Now, the other way of asking yourself this is, why do you do what you do? And tapping into this big picture is important for two main reasons. The first is that it re-energizes you. It reminds you of your motivation. It reminds you of your inspiration. It tells you this is why you're getting to work. It is very easy to fall back into your daily grind of doing what you do in your business and just going back to it again and again, right? Like, I took 2 weeks off, I come back, I'll just sit down and do the exact same thing I used to do every Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The problem with that is that the daily grind isn't what motivates you. It's not what keeps you going. It's not the big picture, and it's hard to feel re-energized. If you fall right back into the daily grind you used to have, you might find yourself not feeling like doing it. You might find yourself avoiding things that you used to do easily. You might find yourself wondering, why am I doing this? So it helps to ask the big picture why you're doing this, because it can re-energize you and remind you why you're doing it. The second reason is that things may have changed. When you take a break, either for a good reason or a sad reason or an unexpected reason, your life may have changed and what you want from your business may have changed. This can be all things big and small, can be the reason why it changed, and the changes themselves can be big and small. Maybe you had a specific business model that doesn't suit your life anymore. Many of the people who take our leave class actually are taking maternity leave for a couple weeks, or as you know, once you take maternity leave, then you actually have a baby and a small person in the house with you, so your business model will change. The thing you want to spend your time on may change. The people you want to serve may change. The products you want to make may change. All of these things are up for constant change and transformation, and it's really important that you look at the big, why do I want to do this, and what do I really want questions. Those are important because it gives you a chance to ask, have things changed? Is what I want now what I wanted then? And of course, I guide the Starship and all my students through this every year at the beginning of the year, but also whenever anyone comes aboard the Starship, no matter when it is, you go through what I call the Chart Your Stars program to figure out, where are you right now? What have you already learned about your business, and where do you want to go? And even if you ask yourself this every year or every birthday, it's important before you start a big program full of classes and different tools you could use. It's important to know what your goal is and like what your big picture is. Not just your goal, like I want this in the next 3 months, but like what is the business I want to build over the next decade? Knowing that is important so that you use the tools effectively. So you don't worry about something if that's not actually what you're working on right now. So you don't think, oh, I have to do all of the things, because you don't. You just need to do the things that will build the business you most want. And the only way you know that is to stop and check in with yourself. What is it that I really want? So we want to give ourselves space to change and transform both in our lives and our businesses, and for our businesses to reflect our real lives that we are living right now. And that answer to that question might be different for you if you just went on a big life-changing trip, or if you just suffered a major loss, or if you just added a new member to your family. Those answers to what do you really want from your business can change, and that is okay. We need to give ourselves a space and the opportunity to change, and not just keep forcing ourselves to do what we consider our work day in and day out if what we've wanted has shifted or changed. So that's why it's important to check in. Now, when you do look at the big picture, most of us are going to come up with actually two missions or two pictures, like two whys behind what we're doing. So there is your internal mission. Why are you doing this for yourself? What life do you want to build for yourself, and how does your business fit into that? It's really important to acknowledge what it is that you want to get out of this, what hours you want to work, what money you want to make, what creativity you want to express. That's what I call your internal mission. The second part of this picture is your external mission. And that's who are you serving and what are you doing in the world? So most of the makers I work with are very clear on one half of their mission, but not so clear on the other half of their mission. In the beginning, it's often we are thinking about, I want to hit so many sales, I want to create this, I want to have this, I want my business to look like this person's, but it's equally important to that to know who are you serving and what are you making for them and what is the benefit to them in their life. If you aren't clear on that, your marketing is going to be really hard because people don't just want to hear what you're doing for you. They want to know what your product does for them. And for most of you listeners, you have a product-based business. So you need to know how your product fits into their life and how they benefit from it. And I promise you, if you make a product that even one person has bought, then it does serve someone in some way. People always struggle like, I don't know, my thing, I don't know if anybody wants or needs it. Yes, they do. So you want to look at the big picture, both from your internal mission and your external mission, what you're doing in the world. So for me, my internal mission is I am building a business that pays the bills, that allows me and my husband to spend our time doing and making what we most care about, what we're most passionate about. For me, that's writing and podcasting and talking to you guys, which I'll get to in a minute, my external mission. For him, that's working and owning the comic book shop. So my internal mission, what my business is doing, is making all of that possible financially and also like emotionally supporting us by doing work that really matters to us. Now, my external mission is all of that, like what really matters to me is helping you, my listeners and my students and my Starship captains, feel confident in building the business that you really want. So it's funny because my external mission is kind of about helping all of you discover your external mission and then having the confidence and the knowledge to build that business. The short version of this is helping you become your own best business expert. So instead of looking outside of yourself for answers, you realize that you know the kind of business you want to build, you trust that, and then you have the tools and the resources like goal planning and time management and accountability and profitability and marketing know-how so that you actually can build the business you want. That is what my external mission is helping makers and artists become their best business expert and learn to trust their own inner expertise. So that's my internal and external mission. Whenever I have a break and I'm coming back to work, I need to stop and picture that first. Now, what I've been doing to kind of get back motivated, back after my break, back after, and get like motivated even throughout this holiday season where I'm going to be taking more time off and more time kind of offline and away from things, is to keep that mission top of mind. So every time I sit down to work, I feel motivated to do the work I need to do in order to make those missions happen in the world and in my own life. Now, you need to know why you do what you do, who you do it for, who you're serving, and what kind of life you want to build for yourself. But then you also need to break that down into what that actually means, right? So I told you my internal and external mission, but I'm going about those in different ways all of the time, right? Sometimes I am making a new class and launching it. Sometimes I am opening up the Starship. Sometimes I am recording a bunch of podcast episodes back to back. Sometimes I am spending a lot of time just writing answers to the questions that I get. So you need to know how you break down those missions into steps. So some makers I work with are real fuzzy about their mission, but they know like the work to do each day. Other makers are very clear about their big picture, but have a really hard time like boiling that down into steps. So in my program, Chart Your Stars, it's followed up by map making, where we narrow it down into like a specific goal you're going to work on. Because here's the thing, my internal and external mission have like 5 or 6 branches, but that I want to grow and improve and change. But things happen faster when I focus on one area at a time. So I go through the process of setting one goal for the next 3 or 6 months, working and then breaking that goal down into all of the steps I'm going to do, all of the actual tasks. When I sit down to work, I know what I'm going to do because the tasks are already laid out, so then I can move towards that goal. So once you know your internal and external missions, you want to break that down into, like, what does that mean? What are you going to work towards? What are you going to work on? And then what do you mean when you say you're going to work on it? What are the actual steps you're going to do? Now, as a Starship member, you get access to Chart Your Stars, and then we follow it up at the beginning of each quarter by doing map making, and then of course there's accountability and check-ins, but and all of that you can find at tarasweiger.com/starshipbiz. But in your own business, whether you're a Starship captain, whether you have your business, or you're just dreaming of your business, or you are 10 years into your business, if you are feeling it hard to stay motivated throughout this busy season, or you have just taken a break and you've come back when you're listening to this, start with the big picture. Ask yourself, what do I really want? How am I going to go about getting it? And why am I doing all this? I hope that that helps you, whatever you're coming back from, and I hope that you feel newly reinvigorated once you answer those questions. I would love to hear your answers, your whys and your whos. Share them with me on Instagram. Use the hashtag #ExploreYourEnthusiasm. I read all of those and I get super excited by it. It's also a great way for you to meet other listeners. So hashtag #ExploreYourEnthusiasm on Instagram. Share your whys and your whos, and I will be sharing more of mine in the next week or so. Thank you so much for listening. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with a friend, tell them about it, or leave a review and rating on iTunes. Thanks, and have a fantastic, enthusiastic, restful holiday season. Thanks so much for watching. You can get weekly lessons like this in your inbox, along with access to worksheets and checklists and transcripts from all the podcast episodes when you sign up below. You can also subscribe on YouTube, and YouTube will notify you when there's a new video. And you can follow me on Twitter or Instagram. If you do, be sure to say hello or leave a comment below the video to let me know you're there. Thank you so much for watching, and have a very enthusiastic day.